Hey there, it's Ivy. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be kind of geared towards people who are going to college, or maybe they haven't quite made up their mind if they want to go to college. People who are currently in college may still be able to get something from this video, but just a heads up that this video will be mainly geared towards people who are not quite in college. And here's what to kind of expect, maybe, possibly. Part of this has to do with my personal experience while I've been in school at a four-year institution, and it may come off as a little subjective. Also keep in mind that everyone's college experiences are very different. Many factors play into each and every person's college experience, whether it's your home life, your finances, your mental state, and so much more. So to kind of give a little bit of background, I went to a four-year institution for about 2.5 years in Baltimore, and then I transferred over to where I'm currently at now, which is University of Maryland. And I won't get into too much detail as to why I switched colleges. Part of it has to do, well, not part of it, a lot of it has to do with a lack of resources at the school and just kind of how I felt treated as a student and as a person being at that school. And if you see me looking down, I have like a little notebook here with points to touch on, because it's a very broad topic and I want to make sure that I'm kind of staying on track. One of the first things that I wish I knew before going into college is a business, and they will treat you as a customer, or you should at least view yourself as a customer other than just a student. Many colleges obviously will have their primary goal being education, but what they're not going to tell you, because it's kind of off-putting, is that it's a business. It's run like a business. You, as a student, sometimes may feel like a walking money bag, and sometimes I feel like the business aspect of college kind of gets in the way of how they kind of view you as a student. Like, your education should be important to them, and sometimes it just doesn't feel like that. Sometimes it just feels like they're there to get your money, and if you graduate or not, well, you know, too bad. Or if you do graduate, like, oh, okay, good for you, but if you don't graduate, well, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But way too many times I have felt like I was nothing more than just, as I said, a walking money bag, and that my education was not valued as high as it should be, especially for the money that is being paid, because without students there is no university. And I just felt that my first particular college especially, which kind of shaped my overall view and my perspective of what I thought of college as a whole, they especially should view students a lot more important than what they view them. At the end of the day, you're paying for your education, or someone somewhere is paying for your education. It's really easy to get lost in between the cracks of things and kind of get swept under the rug, depending on what type of school you go to, especially if it's a larger school. It's definitely easy to feel like no one really cares about you, or the school really doesn't care about you. And I just wish I knew that. It would have saved me a lot of mental stress, maybe, because there were many times where I felt that something was wrong with me, something was wrong with how I thought, or something was wrong with me as a student. Maybe I'm too dumb for college. Maybe college isn't cut out for me. And it's okay to not take no for an answer when it comes to your education. Don't feel that you're dumb. Like, please take everything with a grain of salt. College is a lot more systematic than what you think it is. It's not just black and white. There's a lot of gray areas in between. Going into my next point, it may very well be one of the biggest tests of my mental strength, or like my mental health, not just taking a class and saying, oh, it's hard, it's difficult, you know, the material is hard. Yes, but mentally so, it's been one of the hardest things I've had to deal with so far. And I'm sure there's other things down the line to come that will also test my mental strength. But for now, it's been college. When people say college is fun, yes, it's fun, but it's very different. It's very subjective. That your level of fun is going to be very dependent on a lot of things. Your coursework load, your major, who you have around you, your support system. Not everybody's going to have the same level of fun as you. Some people can balance a really hard major and still go out every single weekend, and some people are not going to be able to do that. Some people are going to have to work jobs. Some people are not going to be able to work jobs and kind of have like a little bit of extra income. Don't feel bad about doing what you need to do, what you personally need to do to succeed. You may find people around you are doing all these great big things. They may be able to juggle a relationship. They may be able to juggle a job. They may be able to juggle a social life. Their skin is clear. They're going to the gym 5 days a week, while you almost are kind of like the opposite. Don't compare yourself. Like, it's okay. Do what you feel like you need to do. If it takes you a little bit longer to graduate, that's alright too. If you graduated early, or if you do graduate early, that's great and all, but it's really not about who wins the race the fastest. It's not about who can one-up one another. I mean, some people, they may need to be competitive in order for them to succeed, and other people, they don't do too well with competition. Stay true to yourself. Be who you are. Don't try to change for anybody else. Don't try to fit and conform for somebody else, and don't worry about what someone else is going to think of you. Do what you have to do, and sometimes that may come with being disliked. My next point really isn't quite what I wish I knew before going into college, but rather what I learned. Sometimes you're gonna have classes where the cumulative, or like the average test grade, is like 50%, and that's really low. Like, that's half the class, you know, failing. And some professors are gonna be like, well, 2 people got an A, so I'm not gonna curve, you know, it's fine. Like, it's alright if like 80% of the class fails, at least the 20%, they're on it. Obviously I'm exaggerating just a little bit. You are gonna come across professors who are not really well equipped to teach. In high school, if you thought your high school teachers were bad, wait till you get to college. You're gonna have some really bad professors in college. Or maybe you're gonna be really lucky and get like all really good professors, but many of them just kind of read off of lecture slides, and you at the end of the day are your own teacher. And it kind of mentally prepare yourself for that. Reach out to people. Utilize your resources as much as possible, because some colleges don't have that many resources. You'd be surprised at how a talk group, a study group, someone who you can confide in, like a counselor or like an advisor, or a professor, like maybe you have one professor that really understands you. That really helps, because you never know what can come out of it, or you really don't have that much to lose by seeking help. Chances are there's someone else out there going through the same things that you are going through as a student, as a person in college. You may think it's just me in a sea of like hundreds or thousands of students. Sometimes that can lead to connections and connecting with other people. You may be able to find opportunities based off of who you know and who you choose to open up to. So again, don't be afraid to do that. And I may do a part 2 to this video, because I feel like this video was very loaded with a lot of things. College in general and how it affects students is such a broad topic, and kind of what I've personally gone through. Like, I could branch off into a lot of subtopics into that as well, but I don't want to make this video like 20 years long, so I think I'm gonna wrap that up there, and I hope you were able to take something from this. Again, take this video with a grain of salt. I have no problem with going deeper into detail for people who want to know kind of why I left my first school, and a little more into detail as to how college has kind of changed my perspective on life and how it's changed my perspective of college and higher education as a whole. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you would like to see more content. It really helps. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Bye.